What happens when power clashes with scrutiny? The Trump-Stephanopoulos interview meltdown. In the high-stakes world of American politics, where every word can spark a firestorm and every gesture can be dissected for days, few events capture the raw essence of confrontation like a televised interview gone spectacularly wrong. Imagine the scene: the most influential political figure in the nation, a man who has dominated headlines for decades, stepping into what should be a standard sit-down chat. But instead of polished sound bites and cordial exchanges, it devolves into a chaotic spectacle of egos colliding, accusations flying, and unfiltered tension that leaves viewers glued to their screens. That's exactly what unfolded in the explosive encounter between former President Donald Trump and veteran journalist George Stephanopoulos. This wasn't just any interview, it was a masterclass in discord, a vivid illustration of how deep-seated divisions in media and politics can erupt in real time. Before diving into the details of this unforgettable debacle, let's set the stage and explore why it resonated so profoundly. The build-up to this interview was already charged with anticipation. Trump, known for his combative style and unyielding confidence, had agreed to appear on what was billed as a Fox News special, though Stephanopoulos, typically associated with ABC News, brought his sharp, no-nonsense interviewing prowess to the table. Perhaps it was a crossover event aimed at bridging networks, or maybe it was designed to spark fireworks from the start. Either way, the energy in the studio was palpable even before the cameras rolled. Trump strode in with his signature swagger, suit impeccably tailored, ready to tout his achievements. Stephanopoulos, seated with a stack of notes and a steely gaze, exuded the calm of a seasoned interrogator preparing for battle. Viewers at home could sense the mismatch: Trump's bombastic narrative-shaping approach versus Stephanopoulos' fact-driven, unflinching persistence. What followed was not a dialogue, but a demolition derby of words, lasting just 17 minutes before it imploded. It all began innocuously enough, as these things often do. Stephanopoulos kicked off with a softball on the economy, a topic Trump has long claimed as his stronghold. Mr. President, let's start with the state of the economy under your administration. You've often highlighted record low unemployment and stock market highs. How do you respond to critics who say these gains haven't trickled down to everyday Americans? Trump leaned back, flashing that familiar grin, his hands gesturing expansively as if orchestrating a symphony of success. George, let me tell you, the economy has never been better. We've got jobs pouring in, businesses booming, people are making more money than ever before. It's incredible what we've achieved. He rattled off statistics: unemployment at historic lows for minorities, GDP growth surging, energy independence secured. It was vintage Trump, confident, repetitive, and designed to dominate the narrative. But Stephanopoulos wasn't there to nod along. Midway through Trump's monologue, he interjected sharply, his voice cutting through like a knife. With all due respect, those numbers don't tell the full story. Inflation's eating into wages, the cost of living is skyrocketing. Groceries, housing, healthcare. Families on Main Street are struggling, while Wall Street thrives. So when you say the economy is thriving, who exactly is it thriving for? The interruption was bold, almost unprecedented in Trump's interview history. Trump's smile faltered for a split second, his eyes narrowing as he processed the challenge. This wasn't the deferential treatment he often received on friendly outlets. "George, you're cherry-picking facts," Trump shot back, his tone sharpening. "You're ignoring the big picture. People are better off now. Higher wages, more opportunities. But you don't want to talk about that because it doesn't fit your biased narrative." The exchange escalated from there, transforming the interview into a verbal sparring match. Stephanopoulos leaned forward, his posture aggressive yet composed, refusing to yield. This isn't about narratives, it's about reality. Millions of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. What specific policies are you proposing to address that? Trump's jaw tightened, a telltale sign of mounting frustration. He pointed accusatorily at the host. Your problem, George, is you come in with preconceived answers. You're not seeking truth, you're hunting for gotcha moments. I've seen this 1,000 times from the media. Stephanopoulos crossed his arms, a subtle smirk playing on his lips, a move that only fueled Trump's ire. I'm asking direct questions. If they make you uncomfortable, perhaps that's reflective of the answers or lack thereof.
At this juncture, the tension in the room was electric, thick enough to cut with a knife. Trump shifted in his seat, his body language screaming defensiveness. He let out a forced laugh, the kind that masks annoyance rather than conveys amusement. Uncomfortable? I'm not uncomfortable. I'm just tired of your grandstanding. If you want a real talk, let's have it. But if you're here to lecture, I've got better uses for my time. Most interviewers might de-escalate at this point, steering back to safer waters to preserve the segment. Not Stephanopoulos. He doubled down, his voice steady and probing. You agreed to this interview, so either defend your record or admit the challenges. Voters deserve answers, not deflections. Trump's response was a torrent of counterattacks. Fine, let's talk facts. I cut taxes for hardworking folks, slashed regulations choking small businesses, renegotiated terrible trade deals that were killing us. Those are real accomplishments, George, not the fantasy you're spinning. But Stephanopoulos was relentless, countering each point with data-driven rebuttals. Those tax cuts disproportionately benefited the wealthy, and your trade wars led to job losses in manufacturing. Who truly benefits from these policies? Trump's volume rose, his gestures more animated, hands waving wildly. You're twisting everything. I cut taxes across the board, but you spin it negative because it suits your agenda. The interview reached a boiling point when Trump half stood, signaling his intent to bolt. This is ridiculous, an ambush, not a conversation. Stephanopoulos remained seated, unflappable. This is journalism. If you can't handle scrutiny, that's on you. Trump sat back down, but the dynamic had shifted irreversibly. He leaned forward aggressively. I can handle anything, but not this dishonesty. You're not after truth, you're after sound bites. Stephanopoulos raised an eyebrow. Every tough question gets deflected with attacks on me. That's avoidance, not leadership. The camera captured every nuance. Trump's reddening face, his wild gesticulations, Stephanopoulos' unnerving composure, like a chess master anticipating moves. Trump pivoted to broader themes. Leadership means tough decisions, putting America first, standing up to adversaries, not your gotcha games. Stephanopoulos retorted, it's a gotcha only if you lack a solid answer. The back and forth devolved into personal barbs. Trump accused Stephanopoulos of arrogance. You think you're so smart, cornering me, but you're just proving media bias. Stephanopoulos fired back, this is accountability. As a public figure, you must explain decisions affecting millions. Acting persecuted avoids that. Deeper into the fray, they tangled over Trump's past statements. Stephanopoulos pressed on the enemy of the people label for the press. Trump defended it. Fake news misleads. Russia hoax was years of lies. Stephanopoulos countered, there were indictments, convictions, Russian interference was real. Trump slammed his hand down. No collusion. You peddled garbage, never apologized. The exchange highlighted their fundamental divide. Trump viewing media as adversarial, Stephanopoulos as guardians of truth. As frustrations peaked, Trump invoked personal animus. You hate what I represent, success outside the establishment. Stephanopoulos denied it. I question power, that's democracy. Trump stood fully, mic wire dangling. I'm not falling apart, I'm calling out nonsense. Stephanopoulos challenged, if you believed in your record, you'd stay and defend it. The climax came with a question on tax returns. You promised release, why not? Trump fumed. Audits, IRS scrutiny, nothing found. I don't owe you more. Stephanopoulos, audits don't bar release, experts confirm. Trump removed his mic, storming towards the door. You need this for ratings, I don't. Stephanopoulos smiled wryly. People will remember you evading questions. Trump paused at the threshold. This ambush proves media bias. Stephanopoulos, you made yourself look evasive. As Trump exited, the studio hushed. Stephanopoulos addressed the camera. We asked about economy, policies, promises. He left after 17 minutes. Draw your conclusions. This meltdown wasn't mere entertainment, it exposed fractures in American discourse. Trump framed it as media persecution, bolstering his base's distrust. Stephanopoulos saw it as upholding journalistic duty, revealing evasion. Viewers witnessed entrenchment, questions as attacks, answers as spins. In a polarized era, it underscored how dialogue falters when winning trumps understanding. Expanding on the implications, this event rippled through political circles. Pundits debated, was Stephanopoulos too aggressive, crossing into activism? Or did Trump validate critiques of his thin skin? Social media erupted. Trump supporters hailed his walkout as standing against fake news, while critics praised Stephanopoulos for unyielding probes. The interview's brevity amplified its impact. In 17 minutes, it encapsulated years of tension between Trump and mainstream media. Historically, Trump has thrived in adversarial settings, turning them into rallies. Yet here, Stephanopoulos' preparation, armed with facts unflinching, disrupted that. Trump's interruptions, a staple tactic, were mirrored back, flipping the script. Psychologically, it revealed dynamics. Trump's dominance through volume and redirection, Stephanopoulos' through calm persistence. Broader context, post-2024 election assuming timelines, with Trump eyeing influence, such scrutiny tests resilience. For journalism, it reaffirms challenging power amid fake news accusations eroding trust.